welcome to Varsity Fieldhouse on the campus of Brownsburg High School for the first game of the 2025 Sneakers for Santa Shootout, and it features the 6th-ranked team out of Class 3A, the Princeton Tigers, and receiving votes Charlestown, also out of Class 3A. Alongside and the director of the Indiana All-Star program, Mike Broughton. My name is Rick Johnston. And Mike, we have got two top-level players leading both these clubs today. First up for Princeton is the senior Edwin Holmes.
Yeah, Edwin Holmes, 6'7". He's been one of the top players in the class for the last really 3 or 4 years. And then on the Charlestown side, we got Anthony Fresh. Both of those guys are averaging over 20 points a game. Both teams have one loss early in the season. And both teams, I think, I've seen Charlestown live, seen Princeton on film. Both teams are still trying to a little bit, but both have really good squads.
This morning's game brought to you by Glitco and Daily. We go to work when you can't. Log on to IndianaWorkers.com. And Unranked Hoops, Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy. Check out unranked.unrnkd.com. Edwin Holmes still trying to find his college home. He's got a lot of college offers as he'll jump here against Anthony Fresh, who's committed to the Mid-American Conference, Miami University. Charlestown 2-1 on the year. They defeated Scottsburg 61-48 on Thursday. Princeton victorious on Thursday as well. They're also 2-1 like Mike mentioned. They handled Pike Central 77-40.
Well, it's interesting right here, the two star players of this game. They're going to jump it off. Charlestown is kind of a small squad. They don't have a lot of size, and against Silver Creek, they lost by over 20 points. And what happened in that game, Silver Creek doubled Fresh a lot. As soon as he brought the ball down, the double teams were hard for Charlestown.
And we are underway for the 2025 Sneakers for Santa Shootout. Trying to save it was DeMarcus Newson, and it's out of bounds. It'll be Charlestown basketball here in the front court. They're in the white today. And they're led by fifth-year head coach Matt Lynch.
Well, they got to be tough this morning. You know, they played on Thursday, both of them. The game, the ball barely hit the rim.
First figures per game through the entry. Look at the senior.
Start the game.
Per game through the entry. Look
by far.
Lucas pops out. Spent his first 2 seasons at Princeton. Spent last year down in the state of Florida, and a circus shot rolls off from Quentin Volts, the Decatur Central transfer. Man-to-man look for Princeton. As Todd operates up top.
In the Silver Creek game, Charlestown did not wait to get Fresh the ball. They're too big a hurry for somebody to shoot it. They've got to have him touch it about every time down, or they're just not going to be very successful this year. I don't think he has to shoot it every time down, but he needs to touch it to make the defense collapse so other people will get open.
As Mike mentioned, Fresh averaging over 20 points per ball game. Holmes, who led Princeton in every category last year, lobs it into Wilkes for our first hoop of the morning.
Well, they ran the same play twice in a row, and I imagine they'll do more of that because they're wide open on the high-low.
Fresh on the touch, an explosive move and a pretty jumper right to the free throw line.
Yeah, he's one of the more athletic kids in the state. I mean, he can jump up and shoot it. I think, again, sometimes the worst enemy is his fellow teammates. They got to make sure he touches it. He'll help them get open. He's an unselfish player.
Bowman poking at it against Coomer. They looked into Wilkes again. Newson wants a long 3 in front of the Charlestown bench, and he buried it.
Princeton's got off to a good start, man. I mean, you can tell they came up yesterday. That's good if you can do that because you're more prepared.
Newson now 3 of 8 from three-point range. Fresh's runner doesn't go. Holmes gobbles up the miss and flings it forward to Coomer. He wants one from the sideline, and he misses it by a whisker.
I don't know, maybe that's their offense, but that high-low seemed like that works a lot better than a 25-foot 3. But anyway, Charlestown has the ball again. Fresh has been able to touch it, and Charlestown needs more movement on offense.
Fresh and Holmes, 2 of the candidates on the short list for Indiana All-Stars this year. Here early in the season, Holmes went for the steal, couldn't get it away from Bowman. Holmes deflects it off of Bowman's knee, and nice defense there by the 6'7" Edwin Holmes.
You know, Bowman's had some really good games. He's a double-figure scorer, averaging 15. He shoots the ball pretty well and pretty aggressive, 53% from the field. They got Holmes guarding him.
Boyette defends Holmes out near the timeline here for Charlestown. The Pirates in white, the Tigers in Princeton in the road black. Holmes a catch and shoot three off the heel and right into the hands of Fresh as he looks up the floor. Odell, the lefty, a good shooter, halfway down and out. Up and down we go. You're almost 3 minutes into the first. Attacking, not getting it the first time was Volts. Coomer's putback didn't go. And then diving in was Volts, and he comes away with the loose ball on the baseline.
Great hustle by Volts, got him an extra shot.
Wilkes couldn't connect from three, but Holmes fights three men for the rebound.
Great job by Holmes that went in there 1 against 3. Those are the kind of plays we need for the All-Star team because we sometimes get out-rebounded by Kentucky, but he went in there against 3 Charlestown guys and just out-hustled them for the ball. Princeton's more ready to play for sure.
Ball knocked away, and here comes Charlestown the other way. Odell on the edge. Open look at three. A.J. Todd is off target. Both Fresh and Holmes named to the red group for the Indiana Junior All-Stars last year. And Mike, if anyone's unfamiliar with that, there's the core group, and then you have a couple of different groups as well that play during the summer for the juniors.
The Futures games are for freshmen and sophomore that week of All-Star Week, and there's 24 kids that make that. Then the Junior All-Stars, there's 18, and then, of course, the All-Stars as seniors, there's 12. So there's a pecking order, and sometimes somebody that didn't make any of those teams makes the All-Star team because they have a great senior season.
Losing the handle was Coomer. Bolts last year one of the top players for Decatur Central as a freshman here in his first year at Princeton. Boyette trying to shut off Holmes at the top of your screen. Bolts thought about a parking lot three, dribbled in, had it knocked away. Good hands from Boyette. Odell, wide open look was Carter. He'll pass up the three. Fresh will not. From the volleyball line, poked around into the Princeton bench, and it's sticking here with the Pirates.
Yeah, right now, Fresh in the first game against Jennings County, he had 32 points, and he was very active. The game against Silver Creek, they doubled him. He stood around, and so far today, he's not really moving. He needs to move off screens. He needs to move somewhere so they can get him the basketball.
Operates here around a screen from Boyette. Double team there, makes him pick it up. Boyette puts it on the deck, tried to dump it off to the opposite block, and Carter picked up the loose change. Todd with a floater down the lane, doesn't go. Holmes couldn't gather in the miss, but it's tapped up near the timeline, and here comes Princeton. Right to the rim, but then Fresh denied the shot from Kingsbury. On the other end, Todd's three off target. One-hand rebound, Boyette, and a pitch back out to the outside. Fresh from long range doesn't go, and Holmes able to track it down. On the other end, and one for Wilkes, who's had a nice opening quarter here for the Tigers.
Nice pass by Holmes again. That's his second assist. It's kind of interesting. He does play at a slower pace, but the thing about it is he sees what's going on, and 2 good passes early in the game.
30-second timeout for Princeton. They lead 7-2 with less than 3 to play here in the first. Chris Shields, one of today's officials, is one of Indiana's top officials and is responsible for the assignment of officials for many major events, including the Galitko and Daily Sneakers for Santa Shootout. Want to become an IHSA official? We need you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to find out how easy and rewarding it can be. Plus, your first-year license is free.
Don't hear much free anymore.
No, that's right.
So you better get you a license. I know at the end, my last couple of years, I was an athletic director, and I was paying $100 a game, so might as well hop in. It's better than sitting home.
Yeah. And that is kind of one of the unsung things about high school athletics, no matter what sport, is your officials are really one of the true lifebloods of high school athletics, because with no officials, no games.
Well, right now the officials, they're harder to find and they're harder to keep in it. And that's just because in certain times of the year and in certain sports more than others, the fans go crazy.
Yeah.
And they just don't want to listen to it. So we're hurting ourselves by not making it a high school athletic event. Like, it's not the end of the world.
Newsom called for a lane violation, so no free throw attempt for Wilkes. It remains a 5-point Princeton lead. Fresh in the middle of the floor, drive and kick Todd, and Marcus Carter rainbows in a triple.
Yeah, Carter hasn't done much so far this season, 2 points a game, but nice looking shot. Now Charlestown goes into a wide 2-1-2, 2-3 zone, and they're going to try to spread Princeton out. Princeton needs to attack the middle or the low block or any kind of diagonal pass.
Bolts all the way on the sideline. Holmes tries to create. Newsom, corner 3 ball, short. And the defensive rebound is Dylan French as he checked in during the timeout.
Nice changeup at the timeout for Charlestown.
Todd for a 3 in the lead, doesn't go. Odell tried the one-hand rebound, was unsuccessful. Tigers quickly moving up the floor. Newsom able to get it back. He finds a wide-open Volts, whose sidewinder 3 drops.
Yeah, Volts had double-figure scoring and assists in one of the games this year. He's an up-and-coming player. Nice shot. Again, Princeton seems a little more prepared so far.
Five-point lead for the Tigers. 6th-ranked team in Class 3A. Charlestown receiving votes. Fresh, free throw line, and Holmes has the miss.
You know, Fresh, that's the first time he actually attacked the basket. He needs to do more of that.
Coomer from distance. Holmes has the miss. Mid-range J, perfect.
And Holmes, nice play. So far, a couple assists, the basket, 3 or 4 rebounds. He's been very active. He's kind of got an old school, old man game, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He'll be 40 years old going to those industrial league games and dominating.
Doesn't need to change anything, doesn't need to adapt to a different game. He's been playing it forever.
Yeah, he plays within himself.
Fresh, elevating and floating with another impressive bucket.
That's 2 times in a row they've got Fresh the ball and he's attacked the basket. They'll be more successful. They'll have more points than 7. Nice pass.
Holmes into the cutting Coomer.
That's 3 assists and 3 or 4 rebounds for Holmes. They only have 14. Love that from the top player, getting other people involved.
Last year, Holmes, the Pocket Athletic Conference Player of the Year. Averaged almost 4 assists per game and pulled down almost 8 rebounds to go with 17 points tonight. Anthony Fresh, the future Miami Redhawk, holding for the final shot. Killer crossover, Odell, the lefty sniper, off the rim, and that will be the end of our opening quarter. 6th-ranked Princeton leading by 7 here after 1 quarter of play. You're watching the 2025 Sneakers for Santa Shootout on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
We build kids up from the ground up. It's not so much about where you're at.
In most programs in Indiana, it's teams and it's games and it's teams and it's games.
14-7, the Princeton lead here over Charlestown. Opening game of 7 on the docket today here, all on the ISC Sports Network. The final 2 tonight will be on WNDY by Channel 23. Plainfield, New Albany coming up next. Liberty Christian, Brownsburg, St. Joe's Cathedral, Lawrence North, and Noblesville. For your first 5 of the day here on ISC. Backdoor cut Holmes found Newsom, who lays it in on the reverse layup.
Good pass again. 6'7", very versatile. Make a nice pass. Really got everybody involved. Holmes has got off to a great start.
Biggest lead of the morning here for the Tigers. Shot no good on the other end. Good defensive rebound from Boyette. Goes right back up. Challenged Newsom, didn't get it, and there's another rebound for Holmes. Mid-range Jay Holmes couldn't get the roll as Fresh flies in for the miss. Fresh lost it near midcourt. Good defense from Volts. Odell from the sideline. And the long rebound is.
I just don't understand why they would shoot that shot after one pass. I mean, you haven't got anything going, and Odell for the season shooting 25% from 3. So they've got to get some passing going, some cuts, some movement to make Princeton have to guard somebody every once in a while.
Almost disaster there for Princeton as Luke Kingsbury in for the first time. It was Fresh that deflected the ball the way it went off of his foot. As Newsom attacks, elevates, and a block underneath. Against one of the Charlestown players, that's Kevin Bowman. Number 1 on him.
Well, with Holmes and then you got Volts, you got pretty good 2-man game right there with those 2 guys. Then you got standing shooters. He's got a couple guys that are standing shooters, and so far Princeton's passed the ball really well.
First one good for DeMarcus Newsom.
Charlestown can get in this game. I don't think the difference in abilities are that much. What happens is that Charlestown's just got to come down. If they make 4 or 5 passes or even 3 or 4, they're going to get a good shot on the Princeton defense, but they're just impatient.
7 for Newsom as he has matched Charlestown's output by himself. Nice backdoor poke away by Kingsbury. Now he's off to the races. They try to track him down, and he lays it in as Bowman was there trying to contest. And now a poke away from Holmes. Dives on the floor as he got it away from Bowman. And there's Kingsbury right in the middle of it again. Volts a long 3. Splash.
I'll tell you what, Volts has got the distance on those shots. Now, his shot goes up. It's so soft. It looks good from 23 or 24 feet. So right now we got a problem for Charlestown. Good called timeout by Coach Lynch because he needed to stop what was going on.
Second 3 of the morning here for Volts. Today's game brought to you by Unranked Hoops. Unranked Hoops is partnering with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops is dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs and Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy. Inside the walls of the newly renovated Unranked Hoops factory in Indianapolis, Unranked Hoops will provide opportunities for both boys and girls and boys youth hoopers to learn the skills needed for long-term development and success. Check out unranked.com for more information and sign up to our email list for updates. That's unrnkd.com.
Well, I did not think this would go this way here early in the first half. I really didn't. I thought Charlestown, this thing would go right down to the buzzer, and maybe it will, but Charlestown, he's had a couple timeouts now, and if they don't wake up pretty soon, you get down 20-25 first half, you're not going to be able to catch Princeton. They have too many good shooters, and Holmes is a complete player.
Charlestown trying to shake off the rust here on the first game of the day. As you mentioned, Princeton from Southern Indiana drove up last night, stayed here in town. As fall away from Fresh doesn't go, and Princeton's looked like the much more calmer team and much more kind of regular playing team here at 10 in the morning. Quick timeout, 30 seconds here for Princeton head coach Lamar Brown in his 7th season. When we talked to Coach Brown this week, we were asking him about the keys to the game and everything, and the first thing he said, he goes, well, I've known Matt Lynch, the head coach at Charlestown, for a while. We used to lock horns when we were both JV coaches coming up, now both in varsity seasons. Coach Brown, his 7th year at Princeton. Coach Lynch, his 5th year at Charlestown. And that's got to be pretty fun, coming up in the coaching ranks, seeing a guy at the JV level, and then both making it up to the varsity level just a couple of years apart from each other.
Well, you know, one of the neatest things of being a coach in Indiana is the contacts. And so, you know, some of the guys you coached against, it was like a death match during the Friday night game, and then Saturday night you go out and eat supper with them. So it was kind of like, okay, we got to try to keep my job, but there was a good cohesiveness. And I think it's always been that way in Indiana. And so, yeah, those are relationships that never go away even after you're done coaching. So Coach Shannon on the bench at Charlestown, he coached at New Albany my last 3 years before I went to the University of Nebraska. And we became really good friends in those 3 years. And then when you reunite again a few years later, it's like you were always together, but you had some lapse in years there. So Charlestown's now out in a little 1-3-1, a little trap trying to get him to wake up. But nice pass by Princeton, Newsom to Holmes. Holmes, that's 4th point for him. And again, total domination by Princeton.
Holmes, the leading scorer for the Tigers, has just 4 of their 25, but like Mike's mentioned a lot tonight, as the 3 doesn't drop there for Bowman. He has got a ton of rebounds and a bunch of assists here in this first half so far as he spins and lost the handle. Good poke away from Bowman. And as Fresh tried to pick it up, he kicked it. You can see the frustration there for Anthony Fresh.
Well, Fresh has got to calm himself down a little bit. I mean, he really struggled against Silver Creek, and he's kind of struggling today, probably 2 of 8 so far. He's not been able to shoot it in, and he's got to play harder.
A lob to Holmes. He got stuck under the rim as he tried to guide it in on another lob up from Newsom. Fresh trying to get going. Boyette works. And Carter thought about the corner 3, and then he gets called for the traveling violation.
Sometimes it rains, it pours. You know, one guy misses, and then another guy misses, and then there's a travel, and you're just having trouble kind of getting off the snide right now. Charlestown, everything they do is hard. And they got to pick it up defensively. You can make up for those things by getting a couple steals, a couple layups, get yourself a little excitement, get you back in the game.
Would you like to see Fresh try to get downhill and get to the rim a little bit more?
He's got to try to do that. And he'll pass the ball, so he'll make the others better. But right now, as you can see, Princeton's got a lot more offense going on. They got a lot more cuts, a lot more moves. And, you know, one thing about Princeton, they got 3 or 4 guys that are shooting the 3 pretty well. So
Wilkes rainbows in the triple try. He's got 7. Boyette caught in a torture chamber, then napped and intercepted here by Coomer. Princeton all over the floor defensively. Volts has got 2 threes today, and now he's got 3. This one from the short corner.
Now officially Charlestown's in trouble. I didn't want to say it, but they're stuck on 7 for about the last 5 or 6 minutes. And Princeton is playing like mid-season form right now. For a 10 o'clock game, it'd be interesting, Princeton, how many teams they could beat today here. They could probably beat quite a few teams here.
They were a semi-state team a year ago. They lost at the Southport semi-state to Crispus Attucks in the semifinal. Attucks, the runners-up last year in Class 3A. Princeton, though, they have been putting the clamps here on Charlestown. The last Charlestown bucket, they cut their deficit to 12-7 back late in the opening quarter. Since then, it has been 19 straight for Princeton, spanning the first and second quarters.
Well, last year, the Attucks-Princeton game in the semi-state was 61-55, and Attucks had a great chance to win the state.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, I thought they would win the state. And I did that game on TV, and then they've just taken off. And the one loss against Evansville North, when you were talking to the coach, they were 1 for 18 from 3. Well, they're not 1 for 18 today.
No.
So I would say they're shooting 60-70% from 3. So they're pretty excited, and they wanted to come up here and make a statement. The Southern team's got to come up here like that, make a statement that, hey, we're down in the South and we're pretty good.
They are 50% from 3, 4 of 8. As Anthony Fresh able to cash in on his first triple here of the morning.
Yeah, he's got 7 of their 10, and so
Volts has been scorching hot. Tries the mid-range this time. Beautiful handle from Quentin Volts.
boy, oh boy, as a sophomore, he's doing a pretty good job.
Coach Lamar Brown said he brings that Indy guard swagger for the transfer from Decatur Central, and you can see it in spades here this morning. Fresh dancing with Newsom off target. And another rebound. Zen Coomer's had a couple of nice rebounds here today. Newsom the first one back. Finds Wilkes, who tries his hand at a three. Back rim. Couldn't gather it in. Bowman out of the gate. Goes right at Holmes. Euro, and the lefty has it just fall off.
Holmes really outlets that ball. He gets the rebound. It is a pass to half court, and Princeton's going. Good job by Charlestown getting back on that play.
They want to get it to Holmes as Fresh defends him. Newsom open for a three. Off the heel, last touched by Holmes, who's arguing his case to no avail.
You know, they run a lot through Holmes. They keep Holmes, it's interesting. They keep him in the middle of the court, and then they run through him, and I think he's as good a passer as he is anything else. The outlet pass, the passes for assists. He's got 4 assists already. Does a really good job handling the basketball for 6'7".
Todd, the point guard, who broke the school's all-time record for assists last year as a junior. They leave Bowman open, and he makes him pay with a three. First bucket of the day for Keevan.
Well, maybe that's a little life. The guy gets some stops down here on defense, Charlestown. Maybe they get themselves back in this a little bit. Now you're running that high-low again. Now they got Holmes pinned on the inside.
Holmes against 3 defenders, and Fresh comes in and deletes the shot, but Holmes gets it, steps through a couple of guys, lays it in, but you see Anthony Fresh holding his right ankle, and that is not what you want to see if you're a Charlestown fan.
Nope, that is not what you want to see when you're down 35-13.
Still hobbling a little bit. Cohen Cooley has come in here for the Pirates as Fresh walks off, and the sports medicine staff will take a look at him.
Well, hopefully he can play here in the second half.
Yes.
You know, once he stops and they put it up in the air, he's done. So if he walks it off, he can put weight on it. He might be able to get back in the game.
Yeah, the keys has got to keep it moving and keeping it loose.
Yeah. Once you stop, it's over. You got to keep the shoe on too. Keeps the pressure. There's your high-low again. Holmes
Entry.
on the inside.
Wilkes on the pass. Holmes got his own miss, and Holmes is knocking on the door of a first-half double-double, now with 8 points. .90 seconds remaining here in our opening half. Fresh is already right back to the scorer's table for the Pirates.
You know, Holmes can guard their guards. I'm a little surprised. I didn't know he'd be quick enough to guard those guards, but he's able to so far.
Bowman. Holmes trying to lock him up. Bowman with the fancy handles and a fancy spin, and he gets rewarded for his work with 2 free throws.
Well, he was guarding the guard, and then he got busted up there. Bowman, nice move to the basket there. I mean, I think he's their second best player for Charlestown. So it looks like Fresh is over on the scorer's table, so that's good.
Still holding on to that leg, but he will limp his way back on. He replaces Todd.
Well, the thing about it is, you know, they got a week probably to rest between games. After this one on Saturday, they probably don't go till next Friday, and so they can have some treatment, and he's going to be fine. He hits a couple jump shots. He'll forget about his leg.
2 rare misses from Bowman at the free throw line. Had come in 4 of 4. Volts accelerates and banks it in.
You know, for 3A team, number 6 in the state, there's not going to be many better than Princeton. I think this Volts really makes them a better squad.
Halfway down and out, Bowman robbed of a nice layup against Holmes. Wilkes, the big fellow, thought about a 3 and said gives off to Holmes. Bowman right there cutting down his airspace, and here's Volts, who's been dynamic here in the first half. Oh, he is dancing all over the floor here at Varsity Fieldhouse. Charlestown has put Fresh on the electrifying Quentin Volts.
Last second shot, we're down to 10 seconds. They'll probably go at 6 or 7. There
Newsom
they go.
threw it in underneath the rim, doesn't go. Fresh has it with 4. Volts wraps him up with 2. Just the second foul against Princeton here in the second quarter, so no free throws awarded here for Fresh. And they'll actually call an intentional foul against Quentin Volts. So free throws will be coming here for Anthony Fresh.
Well, the foul was the right idea, but the grab was the wrong idea. So that's good work by. Now, see, that's a good coaching point, a teaching point for after they leave here. It was the right idea, but the way he did it was not right. So Fresh, what's he got, 8 points of their 14 right now. So gets a chance for another one. So halftime, there might be a little excitement in the Charlestown locker room. I'm not too sure. I guess with 15 at the half, probably not a lot. Now they still got 2.3 seconds, so Charlestown's going to be able to, could possibly come up with a 5-point play here.
They had been down by as many as 24 points after a bevy of threes midway through the second quarter. And because of the intentional foul, the Pirates will get the final shot with 2.3 left. Fresh in traffic, lost it. Wilkes heaves it from 75 feet and off of a standing foot. One-handed throw with no real windup. That was a pretty good effort.
Well, 39-15 at the half. Holmes has, it says here, has, I guess that's Volts, has 13 points at the half. So good half by Princeton. Charlestown's going to have to figure some things out, and they got 10 minutes.
First half in the books, game 1 of the 2025 Sneakers for Santa Shootout here at Brownsburg High School. Back with our halftime show next here on the ISC Sports Network.
We build kids up from the ground up. It's not so much about where you're at.
In most programs in Indiana, it's teams and it's games and it's teams and it's games.
They're playing in a bunch of games and not really having any type of system or structure to their routine, to their development, to their growth.
Trying to find more of a balance, more trainings, less games, skill development, basketball IQ.
Accountability. Once you walk through those doors, energy and effort's on you, the individual.
4 to 5 days a week, really trying to build a player that is prepared for going into their middle schools, going into their high schools and beyond.
You have objective criteria you have to meet to move on to the next class. That gives kids a sense of dedication to work to get towards something.
We're not here chasing rankings. We're trying to develop basketball players.
So you should not worry about getting ranked at such a young age.
We're going to push you to limits that you probably didn't know you can get to.
It's about the work ethic and less about the rankings and the notoriety. We want you to get a well-rounded basketball education.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts,
Hardly
Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
1 half in the books. First game of the day of 7 really high-level games here at Brownsburg High School today. Number 6 Princeton out of Class 3A. Leading receiving votes, Charlestown also out of 3A, 39-15 here at the break. And Mike Broughton, Rick Johnson here with you. And Mike, it was a 25-8 second quarter for for the Tigers. Their offense was impeccable, particularly from behind the arc.
Well, they went 1 of 18 in the game they lost, but they're making them today. And Volts did a great job in the first half with movement. And then Holmes, I mean, I would imagine he had 5 assists, 7 or 8 rebounds, and I know he came up with 8 points in the game, and he just solidifies everything they're about. And what Princeton is they're just very unselfish, and they came out today and played hard. Now, Charlestown was trying to pick it up, shot a lot of threes, missed a lot of threes, but maybe at halftime they can get juiced up and fight to get back in this game. But it's surprising to me it's 39-15 for sure.
You mentioned Princeton's ball movement. They came into the morning averaging 16 assists on a little over 20 made field goals per game. And you mentioned with Holmes, the head of the snake, was flirting with a triple-double there in the first half. He led the Tigers in every offensive category this year. He's back again at the top of the scouting report, but now he's got a new sidekick in Quentin Volts, who had knocked down 2 threes and had 13 first-half points to lead the way for the Tigers scoring-wise.
Well, he's a good move-in. I know they went to the Simba State last year. I didn't get to see the Simba State game, but this Volts kid's going to make them a lot better this year. I don't know who their guards were last year, but this kid is really a good player. He's a young player, but he's a very, very good player.
Yeah, Volts, just a sophomore, actually had made all 3 of his threes in that first half on his way to a game-high 13 points. For Charlestown, they were led by Anthony Fresh, their leading scorer. Future Miami Redhawk had 9 points out of the 15 for Charlestown in the first half. They settled for a lot of jumpers early on. Looked like in the second quarter they started to try to get downhill and try to get to the rim a little bit more.
If they would just come down and just try to make 3 or 4 passes and just have French touch it. He doesn't have to shoot it, but if he just touch it, he'll make things better for everybody else. But he has to touch the basketball.
Rest of our games coming up today. Our next one on the docket, well, we'll talk about that coming up after the break, is Princeton back on the floor at the break. It's the Tigers on top of the Pirates, 39-15. You're watching Indiana Boys High School basketball in the 2025 Sneakers for Santa Shootout here on the ISC Sports Network.
We build kids up from the ground up. It's not so much about where you're at.
In most programs in Indiana, it's teams and it's games and it's teams and it's games.
They're playing in a bunch of games and not really having any type of system or structure to their routine, to their development, to their growth.
Trying to find more of a balance, more trainings, less games, skill development, basketball IQ.
Accountability. Once you walk through those doors, energy and effort's on you, the individual.
4 to 5 days a week, really trying to build a player that is prepared for going into their middle schools, going into their high schools and beyond.
You have objective criteria you have to meet to move on to the next class. That gives kids a sense of dedication to work to get towards something.
We're not here chasing rankings. We're trying to develop basketball players.
So you should not worry about getting ranked at such a young age.
We're going to push you to limits that you probably didn't know you can get to.
It's about the work ethic and less about the rankings and the notoriety. We want you to get a well-rounded basketball education.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually, the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Your life is on the go. Now your viewing habits can be on the go. With the ISC Sports Network app, your team is at your fingertips. You can download years' worth of content from the ISC Sports Network library. High school, college, special events, weekly and monthly shows, wherever you find your favorite app. And you can always find out more information at iscsportsnetwork.com.
first half highlights here as you get a look at the big block from Anthony Fresh as he was trying to keep Charlestown in it, but after that it was all Princeton coach and Edwin Holmes doing a lot of everything for the Tigers. They're dishing it forward.
Yeah, excellent pass right there, and not only his 8 points, but he gets the rebound. He's had 7 rebounds in the first half, and so nice pass, backdoor pass again by Holmes. Don't have many schools in the state of Indiana with the offense being run by a 6'7" guy, but Princeton does.
And then you got Quentin Volts, 3 threes, and all of them were from well behind the arc and came at big moments. This one here forced a timeout for Charlestown. That one made it 31-7 in favor of the Tigers, a semi-state appearance a year ago for number 6 Princeton. Looking ahead here to the second half, what would you like to see both teams improve on or change?
Well, I think Princeton just wants to ride with what they got, keep the ball in Holmes' hands, and play as hard as you can, and have good shot selection, which I think for the most part they did. For Charlestown, I would be on them if I was the coach. I would try to get them to play harder. They got to play harder and more unselfish. There's no other thing they need to do this half, whether they win or lose, but to play as hard as Princeton plays and play unselfish, and they can get themselves. They're not as bad a team as they're looking, but Silver Creek the other day really beat them up, and they're getting beat up even worse today.
Just 3 free throw attempts in that first half for Charlestown, and one of them came on the intentional foul by Quentin Volts at the end of the half.
With Bowman and Todd and Fresh, they have 3 really athletic guys, and they need to be athletic. Even Boyette is athletic, so use your athleticism and get after it.
Down by 39-15 margin. First possession for Charlestown. Fresh had it. Hustling after it was Volts as the starters back on the floor here for both teams start quarter number 3.
See, that was a great opening play. They had some nice screens, nice cuts to the basket. Fresh went to the basket. I mean, he missed the shot, but good play to start the half. Nice cut right there, good pass. So right now they've played more offense than they played in the first half. Sometimes the shots don't go in, but besides that, that was good play right there by Charlestown.
A couple of good looks at it there. The offensive rebounds from Boyette and Odell. Their stick backs don't go. And here's the first possession of the third for Princeton.
Now Princeton, they have to keep the same intensity. High school kids, halftime, sometimes it's bad to have halftime when things are going good, because then things go bad. But they got Holmes on the inside right now, and they're going to play out of him. Nice double team by Charlestown.
Bowman reads it. He's heading to the other end for a right-hand dunk.
See, the first minute, if they would have played like that, Charlestown in the first half, they'd be down 6 or 7 instead of 25. So good play. Sometimes you just got to man up.
That deficit at halftime matches the biggest here of the morning session here for Charlestown. They get the first basket of the third. Newson trying to create space against Bowman. Holmes calls for it. Touching outside to Coomer, who had a bucket in the first half. Nice extra pass to the red-hot Quentin Volts, who misses his first 3 today.
Good block out by Charlestown. Good start to the second half. Bad pass that time by Fresh.
Coomer's 3, too much on it.
Good hustle there again by Charlestown. Great job the first 2 minutes. Patience.
Bowman against Holmes, tries to go up and under. Kicks out to Odell. Finds the cutter down the lane, and finishing with a right hand is A.J. Todd, and he drew the foul.
Well, now there's Charlestown basketball right there, the way that I think they planned it at the beginning of the season. Great start, excellent passes. Both those possessions, they had 5 or 6 passes. Sometimes they went down the court 4 times with a total of 6 passes. Extra passes, layups.
And Todd able to complete the 3-point play. That's his first scoring here of the morning. That's a 5-0 run here for Charlestown to start quarter number 3. They've trimmed the deficit down to 19. Man-to-man look for Charlestown in white. Number 6 Princeton in the road black. Wilkes catch and shoot 3. Had too much on it, then it hit the basket support overhead.
Okay, good start again. Good defense by Charlestown. They've held Princeton scoreless the first 2.5 minutes. So, you know, if you were the coach at Charlestown, Coach Lynch, you just try to get it to 10. If you could get it, I mean, people say that all the time, but it's really true. Get it to 9 or 10 by the end of the third quarter, and you got a shot. It's not over yet unless you just decide it's over.
Particularly with a guy like who just passed the ball, and Anthony Fresh, who was holding that right ankle towards the end of our first half, looks to be back to full song here as Newsom defends him at the top of the key. Fresh has it. He wants a long-range three right in Newsom's grill, and it's an 8-0 start to the third here for the Pirates.
Well, they're awake. That happens to a lot of teams. They wake up at halftime. So down 16, we're down 25. Charlestown's making a little run here.
You said the third quarter is when the 10 a.m. game really gets going.
Yeah, usually does most years.
Almost halfway home here in the third stanza, and the Tigers still looking for their first points coming out of the locker room. Newsom against Boyette, and he traveled.
Well, at least Coach Lynch, no matter what happens, can go back to Charlestown and show this first few minutes and say, fellas, if we're going to survive this season, this is how this thing's got to go. So
Fresh right into the grill of Newsom, and he draws the foul, and that's what you wanted to see Fresh do a lot more of in the first half, Coach.
Yeah, good job by Fresh getting to the basket. Don't set on that 25-footer, especially when you miss some of them. Fresh can jump higher, get the shot over people. He needs to do that. Good move by Fresh. He's had a three. He's getting himself going a little bit. Let's see if he can hit these throws.
Had the 2 free throws back in the first half. Second season at Charlestown for Fresh after transferring in after his sophomore year from Jeffersonville. Perfect stroke, and that's 13 points here for Anthony Fresh. Jeffersonville, obviously the state champs in Class 4A last year. They were fantastic. Could you imagine having Fresh with that bunch? Whew, look out. He makes them both. Last year, Charlestown lost to Brownstown Central in the sectional semifinal.
Yeah, Charlestown's got a tough sectional. I think they got Silver Creek and Brownstown in there. So they're going to have to play at a high level to win the sectional this year.
10-0 start here for the Pirates to start in the third. Fresh did not get the bounce. That was a heck of an effort as Newsom didn't allow him to land, and now more free throws coming for Fresh. 3 of them.
Boy, it almost went in. It hit the rim twice. Fresh, you don't notice him limping now, do you?
No. Like you said, he was going to get a couple of jumpers, and that limp was going to go away quick.
Yeah, 10-0 run, and now my leg feels better. So he's got off to a good start here this half. I'm glad for it. Well, now it's 24 down to 13, and 11-0 run to start the quarter, and they're only halfway through the quarter. So good job by Charlestown. Whatever Coach Lynch said, he better bottle it and save it. Or he could sell it, because a lot of coaches are looking for those type of things.
I was leaning more towards the selling and trademarking it personally.
Yeah, he got him going. It's been an embarrassment, but now much better.
And Fresh cannot make all 3 after making the first 2. But the deficit down to 12 after being down by 24 at the halftime break. Other thing I've noticed, Coach, is that we haven't seen as many offensive rebounds here for Princeton this third quarter. And a timeout here for the Tigers and their head coach Lamar Brown, as electrifying defense out there near the timeline by the Pirates.
Well, what happens is Princeton went in at halftime and goes, man, I thought these guys were good. And so then they come back out in the second half, and Charlestown's made them extend defensively. They've really pushed them to the outside.
30-second stoppage here for Princeton. Unranked Hoops is partnering with Indy Heat Gym Rats, Indiana's only Nike EYBL AAU basketball program. Unranked Hoops is dedicated to building a better way to do youth basketball through a series of skill development programs and Indy's first Euro-style basketball academy. Inside the walls of the newly renovated Unranked Hoops factory in Indianapolis, Unranked will provide opportunities for both girls and boys youth hoopers to learn the skills needed for long-term development and success. Check out unranked.com for more information and sign up to our email list for updates. That's unrnkd.com.
Oh, I'm sure Princeton called timeout. They're probably going to try to get against the ball. Let them play out. Do all play there. So they got in the middle of the court.
Newsom defended by Boyette. Ball reversed to the bottom of your screen, and Wilkes. Volts back to the cutting Wilkes. Head fake got fresh in the air, and he finishes.
Nice out of the good back cut. And Boyette didn't talk on that back cut.
First basket of the third here for number 6, Princeton. Odell, aggressive move. The lefty goes in, and he got fouled on the take as Princeton is playing with their ears pinned back, going right to the rack.
I'll tell you what, Holmes, that was a good block. I didn't think he was going to get it up, so good job. I hope he can hit these free throws a little bit because he's really struggled shooting the ball.
Number 1 on Zen Coomer. There's the first point of the morning here for Parker Odell, who's committed to St. Mary of the Woods College for his college basketball starting next season for the senior.
Full court press. So we're man-to-man, full court pressure. And we got Odell on the basketball.
First time Charlestown's turned up the heat defensively today. Newsom directing traffic. Less than 3 to play in the third. Just 2 points here in this third quarter for Princeton after they scored over 20 to build a 24-point halftime lead that's been dwindling down with every passing minute. One and done on the fall away from Volts.
Good defense by Fresh. Boyette, good job.
Spinning Fresh, he couldn't get the layup, and he just drew the third foul on Newsom, who's the primary defender against Anthony Fresh today, and now Princeton's going to have to start finding answers.
Well, Charlestown's got to figure out the course of the season. If they're going to beat Silver Creek, Brownstown, and those teams, Fresh doesn't have to shoot it every time. As I said, the first got to keep the ball in his hand and make the other players better, because he can attack the basket, he can hit the three, and he doesn't need to go down the court 3 or 4 times and be empty-handed and never touch the basketball. I mean, there's no way Silver Creek and Brownstown, they can beat those type of teams. But this second half now, Fresh is touching it, making everybody better.
Gets 1 of 2. Fresh up to 17 points now. That leads the game after Volts led everybody in the first half, but he's been held scoreless, still sitting on the 13 points he had in the first 16 minutes.
Little double team now.
Long
Good
pass,
job.
read by Todd, and he had Fresh on the other end for a lob, but good defense from Holmes getting back and deflecting it out of play. They could have connected on that one. We could have heard everyone back in Charlestown celebrating.
Well,
if
Fresh would have dunked that ball if he could have. They, but at least they're looking for the open people, which is good.
Odell off a cut, lefty 3, still cannot find it in from long distance, but great hustle from Todd and Odell. And right before that ball got ripped free, it's a timeout for Matt Lynch in Charlestown. And the hustle and the intensity for Charlestown, Mike, has just been ripped to a whole new level here coming out of halftime.
Well, I guess I'll blame part of it on probably the trip.
Yeah.
And then I think you blame part of it on the fact the kids just weren't ready to play. But they're making the best of it. Second half, got themselves back in the game a little bit. I'm not sure about Odell's shot right there. You've got a lot of stuff going for you, and you're shooting a fadeaway almost out of bounds. I know the out-of-bounds play was set for him, but he needs to be on balance if he's going to shoot that shot from the distance.
Odell with just 2 points here. Fresh with 8 of his 17 here in the third quarter. 12-0 run. Princeton timeout. Get right out of that stoppage, but has just not been anywhere near as efficient from inside the arc or outside the arc on the first.
Charlestown's pushed him out, and Holmes is catching the ball now instead of at the three-point line. He's catching it 2 or 3 steps back, and he's comfortable there. You can tell this isn't working. Really high using Holmes and get on the inside Wilkes and try to bang on him a little bit on the end. stayed to the perimeter.
Tip of the cap to the guy, whoever's playing the music or the today. They just played the Pirates of Caribbean theme for the Pirates of Charlestown, who've had a dominant third quarter. Trying to add to it was Fresh. And the ball lands in the hands of his teammate Todd. Odell, the lefty, offhand, floater, good.
I see that time, that's a lot better shot than the three because he attacked the basket. And Charlestown are scrambling there. It's a lot of effort to do this. So let's see if they have it in. Come back.
Wilkes, the beneficiary right there. Lead stays a double figure. A little bit of a zone. Princeton.
Patience.
Three, doesn't go, rebounded by Boyette. So he's turned up the wick on the rebounding category here in quarter three. Charlestown being very patient. Here's we approach a minute left to play in the third stanza. Fresh cutting through the zone, draws the eyes of two defenders. No look dump off. Bowen attacking the baseline with aggression and gets the foul, and one opportunity upcoming for Kevin Bowman.
Good play that time. Nice pass by Fresh. And there was patience that we've talked about. Okay, she got an attack to the basket, and it was all because people passed it to each other. Game's not really that hard if you just pass it to each other.
And put it in the hoop, right?
Yeah. I think they make the game too hard. That three-point line's been a blessing, but it's also been a hindrance to so many teams because you just stand out there and then you end up dying out there. You know, they miss, and then those long rebounds. Princeton was taken off and just scoring at will, but there's a minute 6 to go in the third quarter, and the Princeton squad has 4 points for the third quarter. And again, it's just because Charlestown's hustling.
Volts trying to get the offense going for the Tigers. He's been quiet here in the third with no points. Holmes with a much-needed rebound, fires a hot one over to Volts. Volts goes in, and then it was guided in on the block attempt by Fresh. They will count the basket for Volts, and he draws the foul on Kevin Bowman to boot. Let's get a look at the replay right here. Fresh blocked it off the glass and then put it in for good measure.
That had quite a spin on it for that thing to go in like that, because French did block it pretty well. You'd thought it'd come straight back. It spun right in the goal. Well, it's an 11-point lead, but you know their goal was to get it to 10, try to get it in single digits, and they have a chance to do that. It's 12 points right now, lead by Princeton.
Volts completes the and one, and we'll see how patient the Pirates want to be here in the third. They have played beautifully coming out of the locker room. Getting that 24-point deficit down to single digits a couple of times. Oh, beautiful passing. Bowman couldn't finish, got his own miss, and this time he puts it in off glass.
2-3 zone of Princeton, big gaps. Bad pass. Oh, I thought that was Charlestown's ball that time. I thought it went off Holmes' hands, but good pressure right now. Just don't get beat long if you're Charlestown. Make them bring it up.
Luke Kingsbury into the ball game, replacing DeMarcus Newsom, who picked up his third foul earlier in the third. Boyette, that's a tough one for Charlestown to take 40 feet away from the basket.
They're coming now with a double. It didn't look like that Kingsbury really wanted to dribble, and they probably got to get the ball to Volts, let him handle it, or Holmes.
Holmes spins in through contact, and he got the roll, and could that get Edwin Holmes going here in the second half?
Well, that's a pretty nice play by Holmes on that. Driving the ball to the basket, a little spin move, and dropping it in.
Holmes came into today shooting 72% from the field and 74% from the free throw line. Makes his first free throw of the day here, and he's got 11. Final seconds of the third. Fresh from a long two. Spins off. Coomer with the miss. And Princeton won't get a shot away. We head to the third. Great third quarter from Charlestown, but a better finish from Princeton keeps their lead at double figures as we mosey to the fourth here on the ISC Sports Network.
Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at IndianaWorkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't. Have you been injured at work? Visit your work injury lawyers at indianaworkers.com. We help injured workers. For a free consultation, go to indianaworkers.com, a division of Galitko and Daly. We go to work when you can't.
Charlestown outscores Princeton 21-10 in the third quarter. They trail by 13 as we head to the fourth. They trailed by 24 at the half. Martin back. Princeton playing with those 3 personal fouls.
I think Charlestown should stick with the man right. That press gives up too many easy. Man, and wide. Look, they are now almost the line. If they can just get.
Holmes defends him. Holmes lost it. It's out of him in a good defensive position as Boyette. No points, but he really good at doing the dirty work today.
He only enough at 6'4", 6 to be with Holmes a little bit on the inside, and good that. Really good job on defense that time, as he didn't give the thing away. He didn't give the inside away. He fought the kid for the spot. They got to get one more run in him. If Charlestown, you're at 13, so 7-0 run, 8-0 run, and then play the last 4 minutes to see if they can catch up and maybe win the game. This zone, Charlestown's had good patience against the zone so far, and so it really kind of hurt Princeton in the zone.
Long 3, Fresh, perfect. That's 3 made threes in a row for Fresh. And the deficit down to 10, and here's some more backcourt pressure against the Tigers. Wilkes, head fake, got Odell on the flyby, and then he buries a 3 of his own.
I'll tell you what, Wilkes can stand and shoot the 3. He's not a real great athlete but he does shoot the ball, and he shoots it when he's open.
Came into the morning shooting over 40% on the young season. 4th game of the year for both of these teams, each coming in 2-1. Out of the controls, Fresh, same spot, same result. 3 more points for the dynamic Anthony Fresh. Pirates continue to hang around, down by 10. Remember, they started the third quarter on a 12-0 run less than halfway through the third stanza. Newson spins one off from the free throw line. Boyette hustling. It goes off of his knees and sticks here with Princeton.
Yeah, Boyette needs some help by Charlestown. They're all running off on the rebound, just expecting him to get it. They got to get in there with him and try to get the rebound instead of just hoping he gets the ball.
Holmes pops out at the top of the key. Wide open look. And a big-time 3 made by Luke Kingsbury off the bench.
When that zone's wide, they get wider and wider, and Fresh steps back farther and farther. So
tough hoop underneath for Bowman. He's got double figures with 11.
I'm not too impressed with Princeton's 2-3 zone right now, or matchup, whatever they're trying to do. Way too many gaps.
Wilkes leaking out. Bowman didn't bite, but Wilkes overpowers him for 2 more. How about 16 for Drew Wilkes this morning?
He just gets all the gravy. He stands and hits the 3 and is in the right place at the right time. Boyette, excellent pass.
Todd long on the 3. Kingsbury attacking, threw it back, and the problem is he threw it back to Kevin Bowman, who does not play for Princeton.
I think he might have been a little colorblind on that one. There was nobody in black there. There was a foul on the arm. Got away with it.
Offensive rebound
Outside, Todd finds Odell for a much-needed 3 there for the Pirates. And they've got the deficit back down to 10. 30-second stoppage.
Odell hadn't been close until this third quarter, and now he's hit a bunch of points in the third quarter and start of the fourth quarter. First half, he was pretty much for blank, but now he's got himself going.
Yeah, all 7 of Odell's points have come after recess. Fresh with his game-high 23, 14 of them here in the second half.
I'd still keep the ball in Bowman's hands. I'd keep it in Fresh's hands. I would let them create and make the shots easier for the other players. For Princeton, they got to wake up now a little bit. That pace is quick. I think Princeton's doing a good job against the pressure, but do you want to just shoot any shot down there? Now, they got a couple layups, which you do want to shoot, but if Charlestown can pressure them and force them into shooting a 23-footer, long rebound, and here I come again, so that's Charlestown's chance to get back in the game. More steal the ball on the initial play like that.
Deflected off of Kingsbury, and Odell right there defensively.
I'm surprised Volts doesn't come back and become more of a leader on this deal. He's got to come and get it. You know, it's great when you're up 25, but now it's down to 10. You got to become the player.
Fresh against Newsom. They've gotten to know each other all day as Fresh is in and out.
Newsom, big stop right there, did a great job. Holmes has got to wake up a little bit, get people open or make the play himself.
Edwin with the ball, he's been held 10 points below his season average day of 21. Was affecting everything, rebounding and assisting in the first half. Has been held in check in scoring, rebounding, and assisting here in the second. Attacks right here and right on cue. He tells me what I know and goes to the rim and gets 2 free throws out of it.
Well, that's the first time this whole game he's really forced the shot. He's forced the penetration at 6'7". Boyette did a great job guarding him and forcing him with his left hand, which he's not as comfortable as he is his right, but still gets to the free throw line.
Holmes has played on the same travel team as Charlestown's Anthony Fresh for the last couple of summers, so a fun matchup between those two. But Princeton head coach Lamar Brown very quick to champion Holmes this year as a senior, of him stepping in and being more of a vocal leader here this season, along with DeMarcus Newsom. The phrase told to them was, do not let the culture graduate with the guys that they had from a year ago, and both Holmes and Newsom have taken up that mantle big time here for the Tigers.
Well, I think, again, Volts can fill that gap as well, even though he's a sophomore. I mean, kids with the AAU, sophomores can play now on varsity levels, freshmen can play. It's a different world now because of AAU.
Bolts trying to draw the foul, didn't get it. Fresh dumps it over his head. Boyette shimmies in. Good hands from Coomer. Saves it back into the middle of the floor. Odell scoops it up. Charlestown attacks. Open look. Fresh in front of his own bench. And he couldn't get the 3, and Holmes with a big-time rebound.
See, he had to finish that one. He needed to finish that shot. He was wide. That was as wide open as he's been the whole day. Could have cut it to 8 if Fresh would have made that shot.
Boyette on the foul in the backcourt. Number 2 on him, number 3 on the Pirates. Actually make that the 4th on Braylon Boyette, so he's 1 away from expulsion. As Holmes attacks, nice looking dish down to Wilkes for the easy deuce. Point lead for the Tigers. Led by 24 at halftime. Charlestown cut it down to 9 a couple of times in the third. Pirates have not been that close here in the fourth. Fresh. Boyette came out to set the screen. Fresh just cannot get away from Newsom. Goes up. Newsom hacks him hard on the arm. And that's number 4 on DeMarcus Newsom.
Good job by Fresh attacking the basket instead of settling. And he's got a chance to get to the free throw line. With the free throws, you got the time stopped. You got 3:20. You really haven't been able to close it under 10. They had a chance to 8 if Fresh would hit that wide open 3. So they really need a couple plays right now to get it back to 6 if they could get it to 6 or 7, but they're running out of time.
24 for Fresh. Cohen Cooley at the scorer's table. And he is going to give Anthony Fresh a breather. It's the first time. Nope, he's going to stay out there. They're going to pull Boyette off the floor.
Well, they're trying to get quicker. They got a smaller team now to pressure, but Boyette gets all the rebounds in the second half, so I don't know how that's going to work. You got a mismatch now with Holmes. I mean, Bowman's too little.
Yeah, tallest player on the floor right now is Fresh for Charlestown at 6'4". Here comes the 6-foot Cooley against a 6'7" Holmes. And a good job by Holmes just to use his size to draw the foul on Cohen Cooley.
Yep, they're giving up some size right there when they subbed. So could maybe run Boyette offense and defense. You know, one thing about Boyette, he's not really that slow a foot.
Yeah.
So maybe they just rested him for a few seconds.
11-point lead here for Princeton. They've led the entire way today. As here's Holmes against Fresh, the two AAU teammates locking horns. Oh, look at the beautiful find on the baseline, and DeMarcus Newson able to finish.
I would say that's his 8th assist. He might have almost a triple-double. He's probably pretty close to a triple-double. And all he's done is made winning plays. He really controls the basketball for Princeton. And if people at the end of the game read his scoring line, they'll go, oh, well, he must not have had a good game, but he had a great game.
Yeah.
With all the rebounds and assists and handling the basketball.
And particularly here in the fourth, when it feels like this game could have really gone in Charlestown's favor, as Fresh here to keep the Pirates in it with a parking lot three. But I was going to say, Holmes has made the winning plays was he needed to here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he really has. Him and Volts. Volts hasn't done much in the second half here, but the guy that's killed Charlestown in the second half has been Wilkes. He's made some big shots. Number 23 for Princeton.
Yeah, 11 of his 18 here, Coach, in the second half.
I don't know really what's going on here. They stopped. Somebody, it's like they want a new basketball.
Yeah.
I don't think we need a new basketball right here. But it's down to 10. I think this is the closest it's been. Princeton up 10, but you got 2:21 to go. So they got to get a stop, and they got to hit a couple threes now to get themselves back into thing close to have a chance to win it. Valiant effort, but still Princeton's held them off.
Yeah, Coach, you're right. 10 points is the closest that Charlestown's been here in the fourth quarter. They trailed by 13 heading into this fourth quarter.
Princeton may put it in a semi-freezer, except they traveled, but nice backdoor cut.
That pass might have gotten kicked, I think.
So Princeton's kind of in a spread, backdoor cut. Holmes controls the ball. Nice job on the inside, getting some help right there. Holmes spun. Charlestown had the double team. So here's their chance, 2 minutes to go. They got to get a good shot this time down.
Tip your cap there to Cooley. He'd gotten taken to the rack on the last play before that by Holmes, got called for the foul. He's the one that came in for the double team and wrapped up Holmes and got the alternating possession.
Got Volts on Fresh and a steal.
Volts picks it up. He goes right at Fresh. Charlestown wants an extra step. They don't get it, and then Fresh rips the ball away from Coomer. Quick possession, both ends. Odell, big three if it goes. It does not. And Newson with a weak side rebound, and he quickly deals off to Holmes. Boyette picking up Holmes all 84 feet. And Holmes got into the air, and a foul is called well behind the play.
You know, Holmes is an unusual player. I guess I'm going to have to go watch him again sometime during the year, but he's an unusual player in the fact that at 6'7", you don't think he's going very fast, but nobody takes it from him.
Yeah.
And he really does. He's going to be really a good college player. I don't know why he's not signed. I'm not sure why. But I think people are foolish at the Division I level, especially at the low level, that why you wouldn't want a guy 6'7" that can pass the basketball like him.
Ranks one of the top 5 small forwards here for the senior class in Indiana. He's getting interest from schools all across every different level you can think of when we talk to Princeton head coach Lamar Brown. He said it's going to look like potentially that Edwin might have to make his decision coming up in the spring. Nice shoulder shake move, unable to finish the rebound. The free layup was Bowman. And time not the friend right now with the Pirates trailing by 11. And now foul game is being implemented here for Charlestown.
Well, Bowman had a shot for a 3 when it was down to 10, missed. They missed a layup. Fresh had a chance to cut it to 7. He missed the shot, so they had their chances here at the end to cut that thing down, but never really been able to make the big shot down the stretch.
Lucas misses the free throw. He's had a beautiful second half, scoring now 12 of his 19 points after recess. A minute left as Fresh brings to the front court and Volts defends. Fresh into the paint. Circus layup falls off. That's 2 bunny layups missed by Charlestown their last 2 times down the floor. And Volts fouls. He split 2 defenders. Free throws upcoming here for number 6 Princeton.
Volts shooting 2.
Volts led the game in scoring in the first half with 13 points. Has just 3 here after halftime with 2 free throw opportunities right here. Volts ranked as one of the top transfers in the state of Indiana. Spent last year as a freshman, some of the top guys for Decatur Central. Holmes able to tap the rebound off to Wilkes. And Fresh will force to foul once again, and more free throw work coming for Drew Wilkes and Princeton.
Fresh is 3rd. Drew Wilkes shooting
2. Wilkes, our second player to 20 points today, leading scorer on the morning for Princeton. Floor comes Cooley for the Pirates. Todd from 3. That's 3 straight misses here for Charlestown. Wilkes goes up, and he gets it just up and over the rim.
That was a rough one for him. I wasn't sure he was going to get up there or not.
Fresh can't answer it. It's 4 straight misses here to close this one out for Charlestown. A long 3 does not drop for Coomer.
I don't know really why there's continuing to shoot, but we're down to 16 seconds. I don't think Princeton should be shooting 30-footers, so I think they should just kind of walk away with this thing and win the game.
Holmes dribbles out the last couple of seconds here. And it's going to be a 14-point victory for number 6 Princeton as they win their second game in a row, move to 3-1. Charlestown falls to 2-2. And a nice second half close here after a big third quarter for Charlestown, but Princeton able to show that medal and come away with a double-figure win.
Yeah, really, Holmes controlled the whole game for the most part. Excellent passer at 6'7". I really haven't seen anybody pass it that big for a long time around Indiana. He's really unselfish, and it looked like to me he just wants to win. Now, maybe he'll have games of 30, but he waited for the doubles, and they came, and then he just sliced and diced them, probably with close to 10 assists. I know he had over 10 rebounds, and then he also double-figure scoring. For Charlestown, they got a bottle the second half. I don't know, they figured it out, and so the videos and the tapes and the huddle's going to really be good for this when they go back home, because here's what it looks like when we're good, and here's what it looks like when we're not. And I'm sure that Coach Lynch will make big gains after this.
Charlestown trailed by 16 at the halftime break, 31-15. They outscored Princeton 21-10 to have a 13-point hole in the fourth. They cut it down to 10 a couple of times in the final stanza, but weren't able to get any closer than that as Princeton picks up their 3rd win of the season. Next game for us coming up with a tip time in about 10 minutes will be Plainfield against New Albany. That's next here on the ISC Sports Network. For Director Jordan Shue, our analyst, the Hall of Famer Mike Carrot, and I'm Rick Johnston saying stay with us. More coverage of the 2025 Sneakers for Santa Shootout coming up next.